I'm Marty, and I've been thinking about how I hear him. Sometimes it's hard to hear anything at all. I found that I need to quiet my mind, read scriptures, say my prayers, attend church, and then the impressions and the thoughts will come. Sometimes I hear him in the stories of my ancestors, their life choices and their testimonies give me perspective and help me to understand truth. I love family history, and I have lots of stories. This is my grandmother, Marjorie Selma Thompson Sperry. She was born in 1894, May 8th, in Salt Lake City, Utah. She was born the first of 9 children. And when Grandma was 20 years old, her mother died. Grandma had been writing a missionary, Edmund Butterworth Sperry, who turned out to be my grandfather. And she told him about the death of her mother. And she said, "I guess our dating days are over." She said that Grandpa sent her back the sweetest letter. And in it he said, "I understand that you now have responsibilities to assume. I'd like to help you assume those responsibilities. And maybe 2 of us can do more than one." Grandma and Grandpa were married 3 years later, and as soon as they were able, they rented a duplex that was near the family home. Grandma said that she could scoot out the back door, and go across the yard, and that she'd be right there at the family home. She said that her brothers and sisters came and went from the duplex as if it was their own home. And Grandpa never complained. He was always really good to my mother's younger brothers and sisters. And so they started their own family. They had 7 children together, and she continued to care for her brothers and sisters at the same time. My great Aunt Hazel said that my grandmother, Marge, was the only mother that she remembered. Family was always really important to Grandma. And she did wonderful family dinners. She did family history, and she kept wonderful records. She would go through on the backs of the family group sheets, and she would put information about the families and the spouses and the children and where people lived. And I was able to build on her research and been able to extend the family line. And it helps me feel that I'm part of a great and eternal family. My grandmother always loved us. I never doubted that. And I knew that she loved Heavenly Father and Jesus Christ. She served in the Relief Society for 40 years of her life. And when she died in 1981, I wrote this poem for her. Huge trees, grass, lilacs, croquet with cousins, wormy green apples we ate by the dozens, vanilla wafers, peanuts, cuckoo clocks. Run back to the bedroom for Grandma's toy box. She made a world of peace, order, fun, then gave the love so we'd have space to run. I learned to skate and ride a city bus, and saw the Father's love in what Grandma did for us. The priceless quilts bloodied Grandma's fingers. Her selflessness, her loving, lingers. But there's more than memory. I see my Sperry eyes stare back from my babies and now my grandkids. We have eternal ties. She'll continue on, and so will we. Because Grandma lived the truth, we'll share eternity. Thanks, Grandma. I'm Marty, and that's one of the ways that I hear him.